In recent years, the potential of the Second Civil War breaking out in the United States has become a subject that has garnered a growing amount of attention and anxiety from the general public. A great number of experts and observers have expressed concern on the possibility of armed conflict occurring within the country as a result of the deepening of societal divisions and the intensification of political polarization. In this lecture video, we will delve deep into the pressing question: is America on the brink of a second civil war? Experts' perspective. Barbara F. Walter is a highly regarded scholar whose research focuses on several aspects of conflict resolution, including international security, civil wars, and other related topics. Walter adds a plethora of information and skill to the discussion as a result of his position as a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and as a professor of political science at the University of California, San Diego. As a result of her vast works, which include the highly regarded books Civil Wars, Insecurity, and Intervention, she has established herself as a prominent authority on the mechanics of civil conflict. How do you think historical events such as the Civil War continue to shape contemporary American society and its potential for conflict? To get better understanding of the prospect of a second civil war, it is necessary to first investigate the historical setting of the first battle that the United States of America ever experienced. Confronting the Union against the Confederacy in a conflict for issues such as slavery, states' rights, and the preservation of the Union, the Civil War, which ranged from 1861 to 1865, was a pivotal point in the history of the United States of America. There was a deep social, political, and economic upheaval as a result of the conflict, which left an indelible mark on the collective memory of the nation. Contemporary divisions. In the modern United States of America, the existence of long-standing differences and polarization has been increasingly apparent across a variety of aspects of society. The political ideas that people adhere to have become better established, which has resulted in a clear and frequently contentious gap between the various subgroups of the population. This polarization is reflected in the spheres of politics, media, and public discourse, which contributes to the escalation of tensions and hinders efforts to develop consensus. Identification of potential catalysts. There are some trigger points that have the ability to elevate tensions to such a catastrophic level, even though the idea of a second civil war may appear to be something that is unlikely to occur to some people. There are underlying fault lines throughout American society that have the potential to erupt into widespread unrest and war if they are not addressed. These fault lines include issues such as racial inequity, economic inequities, and political instability. In order to determine the likelihood of a second civil war and to develop methods to reduce the risks associated with it, it is vital to have a solid understanding of these trigger points. The inequality of races. Despite the fact that gaps in sectors such as wealth, education, and criminal justice continue to disproportionately affect communities of color, persistent racial inequality continues to be a major issue in the United States. Protests and civil unrest have been created in recent years as a result of incidents of police brutality and systematic racism. These incidents have brought to light the unresolved issues that surround racial relations in the United States. Should these concerns not be appropriately addressed, there is a risk that they could further exacerbate existing differences and contribute to the instability of society. Inequalities in the economy. The gaps in wealth and opportunities that have been growing over the past few decades are a substantial cause of dispute within American society. Economic inequality is another big source of contention. The accumulation of wealth among the wealthy elite, in conjunction with salaries that have remained unchanged and a decrease in social mobility for a significant number of Americans, has contributed to feelings of bitterness and disillusionment among people who have been left behind by the overall economic system. The potential of social unrest and war is growing as differences continue to widen, and this is especially true in the absence of serious initiatives to address inequality and promote economic growth that is inclusive. Unstable political conditions. At the same time that party deadlock and institutional breakdown are eroding the democratic norms and institutions of the United States, political instability and dysfunction have grown increasingly prominent in the country. A greater polarization of the voters has occurred as a result of the development of populism and extremist beliefs, which has led to a decline in faith in the government and a worsening of divisions within society. A fertile ground has been established for the propagation of radical ideas and the instability of the political landscape as a result of the degradation of democratic values and norms, as well as the multiplication of disinformation and conspiracy theories. The importance of foreign actors in relation to external influences. The potential for tensions within the United States to be exacerbated by exterior pressures, in addition to the internal causes that are already present, is something that cannot be ignored. Disinformation campaigns, cyber warfare, and covert influence operations are some of the strategies that foreign adversaries may deploy in order to take advantage of the divides and vulnerabilities that exist within American society for the purpose of advancing their own strategic goals. Foreign actors have been given unprecedented chances to sow dissension and destroy trust in democratic institutions as a result of the expansion of social media and digital communication platforms. This presents a huge threat to the security and stability of a nation. Factors that can help reduce risk. Building a sense of unity and shared purpose among Americans is a key way to lower the risk of war. This can be done through programs that bring people together, like community-building activities, interfaith dialogues, and attempts to get people involved in their communities. Society can be stronger against the things that can cause civil unrest by fostering stronger social bonds and a feeling of shared identity. What do you think are some of the challenges in fostering a shared national identity while respecting regional cultures and identities? Improving communication and understanding across ideological boundaries. In a society with a lot of division, it is important to bring people from different ideological groups together and encourage them to talk in a productive way. Town hall meetings, intergroup dialogues, and media literacy programs are all examples of ways to break down stereotypes and encourage communication and understanding across ideology lines. These can also help build empathy and mutual respect. Society can build bridges of understanding and lower the risk of conflict by making it easier for people with different points of view to connect in meaningful ways. Getting rid of systemic unfairness and inequality. Systemic imbalances, like racial and economic ones, are often at the heart of social unrest and conflict. Getting rid of these unfair situations demands a wide range of policy changes that aim to improve fairness and economic opportunities for everyone. Investing in education and job training programs, making it easier for people to get cheap housing and healthcare, and changing the way the criminal justice system works to make sure everyone is treated fairly are all examples of this. Societies can make society more equal and welcoming by removing the structural barriers that keep inequality going. This will make it less likely for tensions to rise and cause civil war. Keeping the rule of law and strengthening democratic institutions. A democracy works best when its institutions are strong and the rule of law is followed. It is important to protect the integrity of elections and improve democratic institutions so that authoritarianism and the loss of democratic standards are less likely to happen. This could include things like making sure elections are free and fair, supporting free speech and the press, and pushing for openness and responsibility in the government. By upholding democratic structures and principles, societies can keep power from getting too concentrated in the hands of dictators and lower the risk of civil war caused by unstable politics. The possibility of a second civil war in the United States serves as a sobering reminder of the precarious nature of democratic societies and the significance of taking precautions against the forces that promote strife and division. In spite of the fact that the nation is confronted with severe difficulties and divisions, it is not predestined that it will experience military conflict. If the United States of America acknowledges the underlying reasons of polarization and takes action to rectify systemic inequities, it will be able to steer itself away from the precipice of civil strife. Informed debate, proactive measures, and a commitment to sustaining democratic principles are all ways in which the nation can work toward the goal of constructing a society that is more inclusive, resilient, and peaceful for future generations. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.